This is London with Bitcoin Spike and VIP Trader. What's going on? We're going to talk about the close of New York. Hope everybody traded well today. Remember, Duke University, Harvard Business School, guys, former hedge fund owner, not financial advice. If you're trading live off of these signals, you're delayed. I got to tell you guys, you're delayed like 8 to 10 seconds. That's going to kill you in the market. Don't do that. Focus on your technicals. We're going to talk about Tesla, talk about NVDA, talk about Bitcoin. We've got 8 wide, okay, in terms of our time frames. In terms of the specifics, we can go over momentum. You'll see that featured on the bottom right of each of your screens here on Tesla for the 3-minute, the 5-minute, the specific 15-minute. Look at the hourly, the 4-hourly, the specific 8-hourly, and this is actually on Bitcoin, Bitcoin. Let me do this in order. I got off a bit here on Bitcoin. Wanted to talk about a pickup. That's on my list of things to do. Let's talk about Tesla first and foremost. Coming into contact with the specific cap line feature on the 5-minute, that is engaging. We have a bit of an issue. I'll talk about that on guys, on Tesla, we have an interesting pattern dynamic to discuss. It's something that needs to be discussed. Let's dig into the details and technicals and take this in a proper level of consideration. As we close out in about 10 minutes, should be enough time for us to dig into Tesla and really look at what's going on here. Now, VIP have a specific pattern and a specific breakout of said pattern that we're going to be looking at in terms of a threshold to get out, up, and over. You've got that. In terms of the specifics, let's discuss a fractal that we're in that is really has the potential. We're going to talk about this. Has the potential to be a dispositive move in the market. All right. Now, when we're looking at a bull flag, looking at a move to the upside, a specific downward sloping channel, and bam, a move back to the upside. Nice recompletion of the flagpole. We like to hit 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5 can be up and out. We like that. Note the formation we have here on the daily right now. If we have a curl in feature, all right, the curl in is not something we are excited about, not something we want. We want a direct line hit into that level of resistance, but we have the curl in feature. If we count that as a 1, 2, 3, 4 with a partial return and up and out, we are in a dynamic. We are expressing something important that the bulls are assessing right now. The whole market is assessing this on this secondary feature here to the extent that we are in a flag-like formation. Now, irrespective of whether or not it has a technical conformance, ideal conformance, we'd like that move to the upside, right? The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is up and out. That's what we would prefer in terms of a classic bull flag, which we got on that lower level. Perfect technical conformance. The interesting thing is, as we look at this now on the macro with the curl in feature, call the curl in the 1, 2, 3, 4, right? If we were to look at this curl in feature 1, 2, 3, 4, we have this on the micro as well. Pay attention to this specific pattern block on the macro is repeating here. We have the curl in feature 1, 2, 3, could be 4 up and out. It's just asking more than what a solid technically guys driven participant in the market, trader in the market is really excited about per se. Just so that you know, there's a technical deficiency. It lacks that ideal conformance. We're being asked to really evaluate this curl-in feature here. We don't like to evaluate such. Again, to really evaluate the curl-in feature on this micro patterning here, but it's there, guys. It's in front of our face. To the extent that we would like the technical conformance, Bitcoin has, here I go again with Bitcoin versus, and we'll get to Bitcoin, guys. Nice short, by the way. Our specific goal was at the golden short line today. Don't let me keep calling Tesla Bitcoin, but looking at that conformance, and this was the Tesla bull flag that clearly we called, that you guys traded, that we traded, congratulations. Looking at that hit into resistance, we just lack it on this higher, guys, this higher order wave formation. It won't change the specific, I'm gonna say it will not change the breakout potential in this zone. And we're going to be offered with this fractal. Again, I just want to reinforce this for you to evaluate, okay, in the context of a deficiency from that ideal perspective or that ideal conformance with the technicals that we would really love to see. And again, these are the types of patterns below that you may see once a year, once every year and a half, maybe once every 2 years. This is a nice pattern below. It's perfectly technically conformant. So the the notion that we have deviated a bit into something a little bit less favorable technically, it would just be really unheard of to get a perfect technical conformance again. So we're prepared for a bit of the deviation, but do notice that specific fractal, that micro feature here that is repeating that macro feature here. So we have that constriction. You do have, in addition, on Tesla, right? And we've had a great time trading Tesla, lots of volatility. Make sure that you're prepared, right? In terms of exposure, do not be overexposed. We've got a triangulation here clearly as well. To the extent that this would be a bull pennant, right? To the extent it would be an abbreviated flag, abbreviated in terms of that specific downward sloping channel having that curl in feature. Just be prepared for either, guys, to play to the upside. Were we to express an additional move to the upside, we have some nice targets. I've shared with the VIP in the back. The bottom line on the weekly, we're going to have to get up and over the specific cap line feature. If you're VIP, you have access to the cap line, the RSI, stochastic, and MACD on the chart. Very important line that we have come into a near threshold hit with this week, and I just want you to be prepared. Yesterday was a great opportunity up and over that 4 hourly with some nice momentum carrying to our top side band, up and over the 20 moving average on the Bollinger Band with the contact along the top. Very impressive. Now, let's look at some targets very quickly before we decide to go over into NVIDIA. We've got about 5 minutes left. That's perfect. Looking at the framework here on Tesla, we are looking at it. Let me go ahead and expand this. Hope you all had a great day trading. This is on the specific 15-minute. Don't let I'm covering up the bearish signal there just so that you know. Don't let a specific time frame be controlling unless you've back tested it and it is controlling. It was a good stream this morning. I recommend you watch the stream from this morning. Talked about a lot of good technical details that I really think you will find helpful. Looking at the specific 15-minute, we are in a position where we have a move over the daily on Tesla. Please pay attention. Let me get back over to that specific tab. I rearranged my tabs on top. That's my fault. Should keep them the same. But looking at the specific daily feature, let's go to the daily. Let's look at where we're at on the specific close today. It's going to be a bullish close. Mind you, it's a bullish close up and over the 20 moving average on the daily. I prefaced this specific fact with the following, right, with the foregoing in terms of the irregularity of the pattern constructions, the challenges that are presented, but I will let you know that we're heading into a bullish close. With that said, in terms of up and over the 20 moving average on Tesla with a top side target, technically a top side target, we would also be highly aware of the fact that we're looking for a lower pickup on the 20 moving average or on that cap line. Would be nice to see a flex below as orders are stacked. You'll see my volatility blocks are coming into play here as designating this as a target area. Very important, and we can, let's look here. In terms of the specifics for tomorrow, we did see a reinforcement, a push along that 20 moving average today, but it looks like bulls are going to hold that level with a potential doji indecision and or reversal as we look at the specific channel work in play from that parallel on the daily, guys. Parallel support carried up to that resistance. Nice technical conformance there. So we're going to have to break that channel to get to the upside. We're arguably, essentially, unless we wait a while and this standard deviation comes down to meet us, we're going to have to get up and out of this pattern in terms of trajecting to that upside target. Be aware of the irregularities in the pattern. Okay, just be aware of that. We've covered that, I think, in depth, and that upside specific level of potential resistance on open tomorrow, which would be that weekly yet again. So orders stacked below on Tesla, coming back down incidentally to on a lower time frame, the specific laptop resistance. We're seeing a reconfirmation, and we'd like to see this patterning fill out. That'd be a nice pattern to see fill out. Be prepared any time you see a potential patterning for a topping formation to revisit below. This would be an area of interest below on Tesla as well, to look at that flat top resistance on the specific 5 minute, on that 3 minute rather, on that 3 minute time frame. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. Couple of minutes here to close out, and I'm glad I didn't get you too excited about NVIDIA because it's an interesting close. It's going to be an interesting close here. If we were to look at the specific bullish momentum on the daily pushing up and over, we really would have liked to have seen, and we may be in store for, pay attention, we may be in store for an open. If we could get an open here up and over this specific flat top resistance, we're interested. I'm going to tell you guys, we have an upside target just as we do with Tesla to the upside, the top side band. I would ask that you pay attention specifically to tomorrow's open. We would like to get up and over. Let me change my specific, let me change my decimal places here real quickly. We want to get up and over the specific and see an open over the 448.17. That's the line in the sand, 448.17. Can we get a, guys, can we get a move up and over that level? Would be a beautiful curvature and handle, bit of a pointed curvature, V shape essentially, but up and over could really traject nicely to the upside and provide us with a bit more than just this mid-level consideration on that daily. We have one of two things going to occur. Daily momentum will push up into a bullish dynamic, or the following on the weekly, we're going to see the weekly come down as we see the the lowering momentum down into a bearish state. So as we're holding the specific weeklies, and Bitcoin just alerted here, looks like we got a small alert there, but as we're holding this weekly 20 moving average pinned in below the specific cap line, be prepared for that on Tesla, the cap line on the weekly, and also on NVDA on the weekly. So we have a bit of, I'll just say a little bit of excitement given this retest of this level on. And let me go ahead and check my Bitcoin alert real quickly if you don't mind.
Blackjack Neon 4 hour.
Okay, in terms of testing some blackjack notifications. So looking at the framework here, we just noted as well, if you will recall on Tesla, just to finish this out, if we have a real clear pattern in play, you guys know I'm never going to shy away from saying, hey, this is a big deal. We want, this is, we've got the confirmation, we've got everything pointed in the right direction. If we have a few issues to discuss that are complications, away from a clear all signals go kind of a move in terms of something to potentially step into, I'll note such. We will note either the complexity, lack of agreement, or the complete simplicity and the complete agreement in terms of the move as we walk into the end of the trade day, looking at the New York session closing out. That is the best. That's the best approach, guys, that we could possibly hope to take in the market. So when we're able to do that, we just appreciate the opportunity. Looking at the dynamic here on the micro, you'll see this on the and really, if we were to look at the potential for upside targets, you have the targets in the back in terms of this curvature, this handle formation. Again, a bit irregular, but it is trading. And as we step up and as we receive pullbacks here, it's just giving the bulls additional opportunities to continue to create an additional curvature here on the 3-minute on Tesla with a small abbreviated handle and continue to move to the upside. That's just the way that we've seen the bulls continue to press to the upside. So we're definitely taking note of that. And I just want to reframe for a moment so that we are cognizant of this, so that we are aware of this. For the last week, this has been the price action for Tesla. Nicely done. Remember this deep dig down. We haven't had that, have we? No, we have not. We set the specific level of support. We had the expectation, and we drew out, guys, we drew out the specific descending wedge, and it's just been a nice, comfortable ride. You have to admit, we've had some, every single drop has paid in terms of an acquisition to the upside. We've had some really strong moves as well on Tesla. NVIDIA, that's the last 8 days on Tesla. So just appreciate what we have while we have it and while we're trading it in the context of enjoying the market and enjoying your profits from the market. Now, this is the specific framework that we're looking at on Tesla from a different angle. If we were to look at the potential here for this breakout of the bump and run, you got it. We call this a bell pattern formation. Without a doubt, guys, we're looking for that expanding volatility all the time. It's our number one pattern to trade. What is our key dynamic here as we look at the handoff from the bears to the bulls, from the bears to the bulls, up into bear turf? I will say this, we are very keen on getting back to this level of resistance, period. This is our ideal framework. Our profit equation revolves around getting back to this level of resistance. That's where we find our probabilities being maximized. Now, in terms of the launch mode, in terms of is there enough rocket fuel to get to the upside, we start to look at, for instance, we will start to look at momentum. We'll start to look at the fact, well, on the hourly, looks like we just set a little bit of a frustrating line here in terms of a momentum potential cross to the downside. If you'll see, where is that? That's over on the, there we go. It's right above me. That's fine. That bearish momentum, let me see if I can make this just huge. There we go. But that bearish set into the hourly, not something to completely solely be relied upon in terms of one specific time frame, but we're noting factors like that. Always looking for our agreement, guys. Our confirmation, cross time frame, cross indicator just has to be there. So this is the maximum potential in terms of those maximum probabilities we frequently talk about. We want those in the 75 to 85% probability range. That is accompanied by this pattern, and it will be expressive of getting back to this line. Busts from this zone. You got it. Busts from this zone. If you trade frequently, you know your odds, okay? In terms of a breakout here, these can be trappy. You got it right. These can be trappy. Getting breakout traders excited here, we're going to remind you, do not break out trade, guys. Do not break out. Don't be a part of the Johnny come lately. Hey, I'm here for the party. And well, you weren't really invited or you showed up too late. It's really not a party anymore. So just what I'll say is be cautious on these generally from a point of breakout. We like to see them just skyrocket, bam, right? Yeah, guys, avoid it. Typically, if we can avoid this indecisive move here, we would prefer it 10 times out of 10 to catch a move, boom, and accelerate through to the upside to eliminate the question as to whether or not there is momentum. When you're asking a question generally, is there momentum? Do we have the momentum? And you're having time to process, is there momentum? Yesterday was a great example on Tesla. You got it. Then we have to sit around for hours and days and question if we have momentum to move to the upside. It accelerated with force, bam, pushing price to the upside. That's the type of momentum that we like to see on our trade. So with the complications in play, if it were a simple story, I would tell you, hey guys, I would tell you the simple story. We do have that, I'd say there's some complicated features, even some mixes in terms of your momentum. Let's see what we can get busy for tomorrow in terms of the specific bullish, the bullish framework. We're up and over that 20. Just mind yourself that on tomorrow's open. Now on NVIDIA, again, you guys have that breakout threshold. It would be an incredible move for me to see this bottom line pick up here reinforced and the potential to have on NVIDIA the flat bottom support, that ascending line of resistance. That would be a powerhouse move. I've discussed it multiple times. It would be an exceptional move. It would be a really exceptional move in the market to see the market leader powerhouse up and out of this. Would just set, guys, it would be the icing on the cake. It would be a really, really, really nice move to play a part in. Let me say that the specific daily momentum versus the weekly momentum, they are in conflict. One of the two is going to be reinforced. We're either going to pull the daily or the weekly momentum around. We're either going to shift the weekly momentum and get past this RSI stochastic MACD red bearish line that's been reinforced for, guys, look at this. The specific cap line or cap line's been reinforced for 85 days. It's been reinforced for over 80 days. That specific short line's been reinforced for over 80 days. So to say that we need to shift the specific weekly momentum, you betcha. And note that our cap line, that RSI stochastic MACD kernel calculation, advanced calculation there, has really engaged before the momentum dropped off. So this has been a short line on NVIDIA for 80 plus days. So having contacted the weekly 20 moving average, this would just be, again, when I say it would be spectacular for us to accomplish this move, you see why it's exciting to me. We're coming up against really the last 2+ months, nearly into 3 months of bearish control on some major parameters, the RSI, stochastic, and MACD. So this would be a phenomenal move. Would be a phenomenal move for bulls to pull off, with the understanding that the bears have been in control of said RSI, stochastic, and MACD for working on 3 months. Okay, so we understand that. We understand that. Let's take a look real quickly at Bitcoin. I think we've discussed these. Guys, we've discussed the ins and outs here, and it's nice to be up and over the daily on both Tesla and on NVIDIA. So hats off, way to go, good job, way to trade. Now, Bitcoin a little bit volatile today. What did Bitcoin decide to hammer into? Well, we decided, guys, appreciate Venus bringing up to me that golden short that we hit into the 4 hourly. That specific fire and ice line, absolutely nailed it. Nicely done, beautifully well done. I think we also did, in fact, hit. If we were to look at our daily, the specific daily, let me see if I can bring this up. And where are we at here? The daily, what did we hit on the daily? I think it was the top pro line. I looked at that and we posted that in the back for our VIP. But yeah, the specific golden short line did engage along with that top hit on the 4 hourly up into that target. So you saw a frustration here with over and under activity, and really we got a flash move up to satisfaction of the target to the upside. So nice to see those longs after a potential really frustrated period of time here, just barely crawling up and over, but setting that candle up and above the 20 moving average. It did provide the expectation that this level would be hit. Now, the expectation is the bears who got involved in Bitcoin below the 20 moving average are saying, great, fine, you worked us out of our shorts. Thanks a lot. We're always cognizant of that. We're always going to pay attention. I'm going to tell you what was the complicating factor here as we looked at the inverse head and shoulders, but what saved the day for the bulls here? We caught this in the back. Well, who saved the day? Well, the traders on the specific 1 hourly time frame. That 1 hourly time frame started to pick up in terms of the breach down and below that 4 hourly. Well, they pushed just up and over the specific 1 hourly 20 moving average and just started to kind of hammer back up and through, which was the reason. That was really the catch time frame for the 4 hourly. Always looking at all your time frames. Always looking at all of your indicators on all of your time frames. That's the way to be. That's confirmation. Seems like a lot, but if you've got a few screens by you, it's just like, okay, there's all my time frames. Okay, there's all my indicators. It's kind of difficult to condense it all into the framework of one streamable or capturable just stream and flow or video context if we're trying to condense everything for you and discuss, over here, you got it. In terms of that, it's a lot easier if it's just right next to you on your desk, right, on your trade station, etc. So looking at the dynamics here, this would be of relative degree of concern looking at, and we'll provide the caveat, but looking at this on Bitcoin, with a move to the downside, with the potential on the 4 hourly, this potential interpretation of said channel as a bear flag. Boom, we could expect a repeat of the specific flagpole. We'll just note the 4 hourly has been tricky. Without a doubt, it's been a tricky time frame in spite of a bit of, let's just say this, the divergence that occurred here has been corrected. One of two things can occur when you have a divergence. Either price can correct or your oscillator can correct. While we were heading to the downside, here we're heading to the downside in terms of momentum. We did see an expression of price to the upside. What turned around? Instead of price turning around in terms of that divergence becoming conformant with the oscillator, we saw the actual oscillator price spend enough time grabbing and pulling to where the oscillator has turned around now. So that's important as you look at momentum or any of your divergences. Understand one of two things can happen. You can have price adjust to the oscillator. You can have the oscillator adjust to the price. You got it. So this is a great example of the latter instance. Now, there is an expression here that we've seen this preceding level of resistance reinforced as a support that is applicable to Tesla and to NVIDIA. We've got a couple levels on, let's see, Tesla real quickly, just to bring this back up. There you go. We have a couple levels on, for instance, the 3 minute on Tesla. Okay, as we see the reinforcement, guys, below that potential for a capitulation down, just to pick up the orders. There are a lot of orders down and below. You guys got that right. So let's utilize the equities for purposes of understanding the trades on Bitcoin. Let's use Bitcoin and cryptos for purposes of integrating our technical understanding and applications, our tactics on, crypto to equities, equities to crypto, so we understand the entirety of the market, both where it's moving, where it's not moving, both where it's conformant, where it's not conformant. Let's continue to engage in such. There is a bit of a notion here on Bitcoin. If we were to really get through and discuss this, there's a bit of a notion that we have created. Pay attention. This is a new pattern that we haven't discussed too much, but then we've created a bit of a triangulation here, right? So we would be looking at the potential This can be a catchy area right here. But the potential that, okay, we've got to move to the upside. Let me clean this chart up just a bit. This is on the hourly, okay? If we have a move to the upside, there's a potential for a bit of a bull pennant here. And this is just how Bitcoin is. Whenever she's up, you're afraid to say anything about her going down. Whenever she's down, you're afraid to say anything about her going up. When's the best time to talk about Bitcoin going up? When she's down, right? But she can go really far down. You guys know that. When's the best time to talk about her going down? When she's up. Yeah, but she can go really far up. That's what every trader is accustomed to in terms of, well, I just don't want to be wrong. It hasn't set its floor yet. Well, I don't know. It hasn't set its all-time high, huh? The famous last words, right? In terms of the specifics there, I would really encourage you to continue to pay attention to your key levels of interaction, such as your 8 hourly. Okay, your 20 moving average has engaged. Okay, let's look at your specific daily, still holding on to your capital control line here, that blue line. Nice to see that still continue to be in control of by the bulls. So that 8 hourly is not a favorite time frame for the following reason, that it takes a long time for a candle to set, without a doubt. So we have to watch that 8 hourly, really lay into the trade station, really kind of adjust our schedule around. It's like, well, it's an 8 hourly candle. We got to wait 8 hours for another candle to set. It's not our favorite time frame to pay attention to, but it is an important time frame as we assess the technicals. Let me see here in terms of additional levels in play. Where are the bears out up there on the 8 hourly? They've engaged on that 8 hourly. We caught the golden short 4 hourly and on the daily. Nicely done. That daily top pro or the golden short on the 4 hourly. We'll just say the following. In terms of, I would encourage you to look at, in a bear or bull market, Bulkowski's notes, addendums on symmetrical triangulation breakouts to the downside. Just do so. Please look at those specific figures that he brings up along with his addendums, his notes on the performance of symmetrical triangles to the downside, on breakouts to the downside. Just read what he has to say. Typically, I think you'll find that they are an underperformer in terms of a breakout to the downside, okay? So just note these targets that typically they can be an underperforming pattern, okay, typically. So we note such. The easy kind of low to high, just don't forget your Fibonacci's. Okay, we've got our fire and ice, which play, guys, really, really nicely. Just to understand, we've already hit that 50% to the extent that we're going to grind back into the 50%, that 61.5. And essentially your fire sale line on that hourly is going to adjust probably down to get you right into the heart of that golden pocket, right? So what I will say is it was a nice trade day again, not as volatile as yesterday in terms of really nice move yesterday by Tesla. We do have the reinforcement, however, and I'm just looking at just this flat top. It's like Bitcoin does not want to provide us with a little bit of a relief run here. Still can, but that required breakout over any flat top. I'm always, guys, keen to pay attention to any specific flat top resistance for the potential of a breakout of a flat top resistance and thereafter for a return to said flat top resistance. The majority of flat tops are broken to the upside, period. That's the majority are broken to the upside. The majority of flat bottom supports are broken to the downside. The majority, yes, they can set a triple top, yes, they can set a double or triple bottom, but the majority are broken and the majority thereafter are returned to in terms of a demand function, okay, as established by the market. So pay attention to those dynamics. I know that you do. I know that you know what you're doing, or else we would not be talking. That's the good thing. Hey, what's up? So what do we have here? What is this? A little bit of that seeding. Where are we at on BTC? That's the 5 minute. Okay. Quite a trajectory back down. And I do not have my specific, these are our machine learning. We'll be handling that when we have some more time to breathe here out of the opens and the closes, etc. I look forward to that. Let me see if I've got the specific heat map anywhere. We'll add the heat map back in. I will go through some additional guys, charts in the back. I will also recommend that you pay attention to your 9/9 on your Kaplan pack. I have this lined out pretty smoothly on the, this is on NVDA, but to take a look at the specific signals on the 9/9, those moving average signals, you can pay attention to them to the extent that you find them useful on a specific time frame. They will become quite useful. Okay, they will become quite useful. I look forward to you all taking advantage of those. If we need to focus on them a bit more, let me know, and we'll be happy to do such. This is London with Bitcoin Spike. Wanted to bring you some of the deficiencies in, let's say, the deficiencies in the technical conformance for Tesla, both on the macro, repeated on the fractal for the micro. We got that. Looking at the weekly on NVIDIA and Tesla for that RSI, stochastic, and MACD, which is in control of right now by the bears with an established level in terms of the volatility. In terms of that specified volatility, we do have a price target exactly at which they're reinforcing on a kernel basis that specific level of control, both on NVIDIA and on NVIDIA and on Tesla. So that is to be noted. Nice golden short today on Bitcoin. And I will just reinforce the fact that as we were to look at this specific pattern formation, let's go before we close to reinforce kind of what we do on the specifics here with NVIDIA. We had a nice move today, and it just seemed to continue to defy gravity. You all agree? Just continued to kind of climb up and inexplicably up and through some sort of a just continued climb that no one in the market really wanted to, be able to explain with other patterns or anything else. It's like, well, it didn't return to a flat top resistance. It didn't even return to the neckline here. You guys got that right, huh? We have an inverse head and shoulders. It didn't even want to return. On the other time frames, it's like, well, then we had a rising wedge, and it just wanted to beat the rising wedge on several time frames. What did it keep doing? It just kept winding up and through this volatility equation that we have become very privy to and focus on to quite an extent in terms of that expression of expanding volatility between bulls on support, bears on resistance. These can draw price back to the level of resistance. You know this. And looking at that breakout feature across the top, it has now captured the attention of the entirety of the market with a potential breakout on the cup and turn handle. But we know how this price continued to climb up on NVIDIA. We're very privy to these, guys. We focus on these. We call them bell pattern formations, these expansions. We love to trade them. So welcome to the party. You got that right. In terms of just the empirical data, sounds like a great party, huh? We want that kind of party if it deals with probabilities, guys. Absolutely, we want that kind of focus on the market. So, and not to say that these will work out every time. You need to be prepared for downside trajectories. It's the volatility which attracts us. Never be afraid of another hit along support. Just don't. With some conforming momentum, right? With some conforming momentum, it's something that we're really going to continually pay attention to in the market. Stochastics to the upside, up and over that midline. Nice to see just that grind to the upside. See if there's anything else that I need to point out. Just the fact that we've done the same essentially on Tesla, without a doubt. That level of support, level of resistance, and you just see, you got it, that we have climbed back up, out, and over, and we're pushing now, guys, against those levels of control nearly that the bears have established for and reinforced on NVIDIA at least the last 2 to 3 months. So as we're looking at this and you're hearing any kind of Armageddon talk, as you're looking and you're hearing any kind of the market's going to be down, there's a AI bust incoming, whatever it is, understand that we're about to retest levels of control on RSI, stochastic, and MACD, the kernel equation that you have in the form of capital control line. We have that exact dollar figure. It's not a guess. It's not, well, maybe it's a line that could be calculated. We have the exact figure on a kernel calculation basis of the RSI, stochastic, and MACD. That is literally in play for getting challenged again. It has been reinforced for the last 80 to 90 days. So we have that figure. We are not trading in the dark. That is a huge advantage. Congratulations. Hey, that's VIP. So in terms of the details, let's get it tomorrow. Let's get in. Let's get it. We'll have our charts up and ready. I'll be here ahead of time, of course. I normally don't like to spend too much time prepping. I like to just get up and go and hit the stream. Why? Because people will start to rely on the prep for the market. And guys, the market open moves quickly. Learn to adjust. Learn not to be told what to do, but interact with your setup that you have. You will not interact well with one specific screen telling you what to do on open. Guys, you need that full force and effect of all of your technicals in front of you. And I know that you're getting there. It's exciting to be a part of the trade action in 2023, both in equities for purposes of review, obviously an application to our first and foremost, I'd say, primary consideration, which would be Bitcoin. We'll talk to you guys soon. Looking at that 8-hourly to reinforce on that 20 moving average. It's already traded for some cash. Be aware we've got some orders below in terms of the 20 moving average on the daily. And just be aware that we're just right now just gliding up and above this preceding level of resistance on the 5 minutes. And they're like, you're not going to come pick up these orders? I was like, okay, well, yes, we set a flat top. Looks like we could traject to the upside. Bitcoin didn't give us a little bit of a relief pop before the close on New York, maybe a bit of gravity down towards this specific level. When you look at something and you don't know where we're at, even a flat top, resistance or support, what's the best dynamic to put something into? Find your expanding volatility. If you don't find it on this time frame, hunt it down and find your expanding volatility to construct your levels of support entries below and your expectation of the move. See how the volatility is being established so that you can take advantage of it. This is London with Bitcoin Spike and VIP Trader. Appreciate the opportunity to talk with you all, and we'll talk soon. We'll be there for the open tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.